Today's video is going to be about postpartum depression and what I've had to deal with postpartum depression. It's kind of my story. It's going to be kind of like maybe signs to look out for with you or your loved one. I am not a doctor. I never went to the doctor for this. I got through this on my own, and the things that helped me to get through this, and it's kind of the signs that led up to me realizing, whoa, I am having postpartum depression, because I was in a lot of denial about what was happening, and the kind of like how your brain kind of puts yourself in denial, at least through me, and not thinking you have a problem. So I'm gonna tell you my story. I was filming on YouTube at the time. I kept it all from you guys. I put a good face on because I didn't know what was happening, and I felt like it was I hated myself at the time, and I remember feeling that no one would understand. Again, all signs, right? But so yeah, let me get right into the story. I did have a little bit with my first child, my son. I chalked it all up to being a first-time mom and not knowing what I was doing, being scared. I got through it rather quickly. I was alone a lot. My husband was working a million hours. He just started a new job, and I felt very alone, and it was just a new adjustment, but I did work through it. It wasn't as severe as with the twins, and I was nursing my son too, so I think my hormone levels were adjusting easier at the time. I didn't have it a lot with my daughter, but I remember feeling a little sadness after having her. But with the twins, I had a severe case of postpartum depression, and yeah, that's the story I'm gonna be really talking about, because it was really bad. So if you haven't watched my birth vlog or my birth story, I'm gonna link these down below for you guys, so you guys can kind of get an idea of what happened with the twins. Mainly the birth story will tell you the aftermath. The birth vlog was more just like the happiness of it, and which was great, but the aftermath of what happened after the birth and the shock my body was in, I think, is what made my postpartum depression get so bad, and what happened with Griffin, of course. So I'll link those things down below. I'll talk through it a little bit now. But so yeah, I had the twins. I hemorrhaged during delivery. I lost a lot of blood. I had to get a transfusion, and I was not able to nurse. My milk never came in. I tried. It was really painful. I would latch Sawyer on, and nothing would happen, and he would scream. It was just a very traumatic experience. So pretty much automatically, they were on formula. The boys were in the nursery for the first like 10-15 hours of their life. I was not able to take care of them, and at the meantime that was going on, back stuff, my mom was super sick. We didn't know what was wrong with her. She had ended up having a perforated bowel, which was such a horrible experience, and like she almost died, and no one was there to watch Harrison and Win, because we didn't think this was gonna happen. We thought I'd have the twins, I'd be home within 48 hours, and everything was gonna be fine. You know, that was the plan. Then everything kind of went to cahoot, and it just didn't happen. So everything kind of went really south quickly. My mom couldn't help with the kids, and Will had to be home with them, and I was by myself with the twins, and I was really sick. And then on top of all of that, Griffin wasn't eating properly, and he wasn't growing, and he screamed all the time. The first 6 weeks of his life, he screamed morning, noon, and night. It was the worst time of my life, like no joke. I can't even tell you. You don't know if your baby's dying. You don't know what's wrong with your baby. You don't know why he's not eating, why he's screaming, why he can't latch on to the bottle, why he's spilling out liquid when he eats, which again, if you all been following, you all know this, but it was a very traumatic experience. All that was happening behind the scenes. My mom was really sick. Griffin was having all his problems. And as you know, I was very sick. I was in the hospital for almost a week. And I come home, and things are just falling apart. My son needed me, my daughter needed me, and the twins were a mess. They were a mess, and I was a mess. I was a serious basket case. And I had no sleep. I couldn't sleep in the hospital. I couldn't sleep at home because Griffin wasn't letting us sleep. We were going in 2-hour increments. Me and my husband, like, I know, like, everyone, remember commenters when Griffin was born and we were saying he wasn't sleeping, and they said take shifts, and you couldn't take shifts. Like, that's how bad it was, because he screamed the whole time. And when he didn't scream, it was very short. It was like 30, 45 minutes. And I can't tell you enough how much he screamed. So me and my husband had to do it together. We were a team. It was like kind of like, here, you take him for 20 minutes, I take him for 20 minutes. And that's what we did for like 4, 5 weeks straight until my mother-in-law came in, and then we found out that he had a broken collarbone, and we found better formula, and things started getting better. So about a week after I got home, I started feeling pretty down on myself. I felt like it was my fault that Griffin wasn't eating because I couldn't nurse. Sorry. I still wonder if I could have pumped or something, if it would have helped him, because we ended up finding later that he was lactose intolerant, and there's just so many things, you know, and you blame yourself. But it was such a hard time. It brings back a lot. So after a week in, I really started hating myself, thinking it was my fault, hating to waking up, hating to taking care of the kids, wishing I was dead, wishing that I could just run away, thinking of running away, thinking no one needs me, no one likes me, I'm worthless. Just the worst thoughts you could possibly think of, thinking of giving my baby up to my like relatives, or just leaving Will with all the kids, because it was my fault. This was all my fault. This was happening, and I was undeserving of my family, and no one needed me, and I couldn't do it. Like that's like literally how I thought. I thought that I really thought that they didn't need me. Like, I'm serious. Like, my brain was saying to myself, you should go. They're better off without you. Like, that's how, like, I was. And it was serious. Like, I can remember there were some nights when Griffin was at his worst and we didn't know what was going on, and we'd get him to sleep, and I would go to the back door and I'd just stare at the door, and I would say, I should just go. I should just get my coat on and get my keys, and I should just leave. I should leave because they are better off without me. Like, and it took, I remember fighting with Will, and just I was so screwed up, like, in the head because of lack of sleep and the hormones going crazy, and my mom was really sick at the time, and Griffin was sick, and we didn't know what was going on. That's just how my brain was at. Like, I felt like I just had to get away. Like, everything would get better if I wasn't here. And, you know, like, now I can't even imagine not being here. You know, this is my family, and I love them, and I can't believe that, like, that's where my brain went, you know. And I remember Will, like, just, God, he's a saint. You know, he just said, I love you, and we need you, you can't go. Because I would say, I need to leave, I need to leave, and I was so angry. And he would hold me, and I'd get so mad, and I want to leave, you know, I just want to go. And there was one night, middle of the night, I got in the car and I just drove around, and he called my mother, and my mother was so sick. And I went to her house, and we talked and talked, and they kept saying, this is depression, you need to go to the doctor. And I just wouldn't, you know, because I didn't believe it. I thought this was real, guys. That's what I'm saying. Like, when you're in it, you don't know it's depression. You don't know it feels so real. And so if there's anyone out there that's suffering with that kind of depression and that kind of low, it's so real. And all you can do is just tell them, it's gonna get better, and you have to wait it out, and you have to, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. And I can remember one night I was at my parents' house before my mom got, like, she was so sick. They read, like, the list of postpartum depression, and I hit every like milestone, like not milestone, I hit every, like, point. Like, it was crazy. And I was just like, oh my gosh. And even then I was still like, you're wrong. This is not depression. This is real. I shouldn't be here. That's like how much I believed in it. But like after hearing it and them saying those words to me, like reading off the list of like the symptoms, what was happening. It's like my brain kind of like took a breath and went, okay, maybe this isn't real. Like maybe this isn't real. This is Emily having I have depression right now, and this is gonna get better. And I can't tell you that when we found out that Griffin had the broken collarbone, we found the formula that helped him, and we did start to get some more sleep, things got better. Not great. It took a long time to not hate myself. It took a long time to let go of how the things I felt and were thinking weren't real. Because for a long time, for months, I really would go in waves thinking, I should go. Everyone hates me. I don't want to be here. They don't want me here. It took a long time. So all I would say is that if you have a wife, if you are a woman that's going through this, or if you're afraid for somebody that you know that's going through this, if they're as bad as I was and in such denial about it, there's not a lot you can do. You could say, go to the doctor. You can say all those things, and they still, like, I was totally against it. I'm like, I am not going to the doctor. But reading that list and me hearing each point, and I hit every one of them, I mean, it really, it opened my brain to maybe this was real, that it wasn't just all me in my head, and that there was a good excuse. It was a good, like, I can't even think of the word. It was a good understanding of like why I was being this way, because I really felt like this was real. I really felt like I did not belong here anymore, that the world was better off without me. So please, like, I'm not a doctor, and realistically I should have been to the doctors. Like, realistically I should have gone. I should have been on medication. I don't know what should have happened. Something should have happened. But I'm grateful that my family stood behind me, and so strong behind me, and never gave up on me, that they waited it out, and they were never going to give up, and they weren't going to let me go, because, you know, I was crazy. It was a hot mess. It was really bad. And I can't thank Will and my mother and my father, who were just there for me while I had this like horrible breakdown. And I'm nervous about this baby, of course, but at least I'm aware of the symptoms this time. My advice would be, if you're someone who has a loved one going through this, just be there for them and tell them it's not forever and it's gonna get better, and never give in to it, you know. Say, this isn't real, this is not normal thinking, you're thinking crazy, like, you're gonna get through this. And if you are a woman going through this, hear me now, it's not forever, and you're gonna stop thinking those things, and you're gonna love your baby again, and you're gonna love yourself again, and you're gonna forgive yourself. I forgave myself. I did. I can't tell you, I think about those times though, and I really go, wow, I was crazy. And I hurt a lot of people, and they forgave me, and it was awesome that they forgave me and they stood by me. But I just wanted to make this video because I felt like I needed to share this story. If I could help anybody, or I don't know, if I could help anybody, it'd be great. I'm sorry, I'm blubbering baby. I am hormonal. I'm due in like a few weeks, so that is my video of my postpartum depression story. And thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned for my next video of me not crying in it. Thanks guys, bye.